Yep. You already know who it is, man. It's King Ade with the Wizards Review. And for real though, I don't really got much to talk about tonight. You know what I mean? Ain't really nothing to talk about. You feel me? Ain't really nothing to talk about tonight. Just a horrific loss. A horrific loss on our home floor against the Cleveland Cavaliers, one of the better teams in the East. You know what I mean? Yes, we didn't have Kyle Kuzma. Yes, we didn't have Bradley Beal. And if you were a betting man, you would have bet on the Cavs tonight, you know what I'm saying? Especially based off of our last two performances. So I didn't expect a win per se tonight, especially knowing that Bradley and Kuzma weren't going to play. But the way we lost tonight, the way that the team played as a whole, coming off back-to-back losses to teams we shouldn't have lost to, all I'm going to say is, well, I'm going to say a few things. But the number one thing that I was thinking throughout the whole game, well, not the whole game, but as the game wore along, it was really up. First of all, I always say, you can never win a game in the first quarter, but you could lose the game in the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? And the Wizards lost this game in the first quarter. Like, they lost this game in the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing, it's one thing to say, well, how could you say that the game can't be won in the first quarter but lost in the first quarter? You know what I'm saying? We witnessed the two teams that we went up on about 19, 20 points in the first quarter, but then we ended up losing the game. So the reason why I don't give us that is because if you watch tonight's game, as soon as the Cavs went up 19, 20, double digits, you could see the heart getting taken out of the Wizards, the will to win. Like, there was just a difference between the Trailblazers and the Nets when they were down 20 versus when we're down big. When we're down big, we look like we know we lost the game. Shoot, when we're up big, we think we already won the game. You know what I'm saying? We think we already won. Like, they go up 20 in the first quarter and somehow they thought they won and they just don't play the rest of the game. So that's what I mean. They're a perfect example of what I mean. You know what I'm saying? You can't win a game in the first quarter, but you can lose a game in the first quarter. And it's all about attitude, ultimately. It's all about attitude, team attitude, playing on the floor together. And that's what it really comes down to. You know what I'm saying? We had no will to win. We went in the game defeated already. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's how we played tonight. You know what I mean? So, with all that said, the biggest thing that came out of this game, the first thing that I thought about was Coach Unseld better watch it. He better watch it, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't just blame him. He's not on the floor. It's the players and all that. And then we know that it's the front office that composes this team. You know what I mean? So it's not all about Coach Unseld, the reason we lost the game. But I will say the reason why I'm like, he needs to watch it is because, again, the way they played tonight, the effort that they played, well, lack thereof, if you will. You know what I mean? The lack of effort that the team played with. Even after losing two games, we were up 20 points and we lost two games, and to come out on our home floor and lay an effort like that, regardless of who was playing, Coach Unseld really better be careful, man. I'm quite disappointed in the effort, not benching players, not screaming, not doing nothing, being emotionalist. You know what I'm saying? I saw two young coaches on the sideline, two up-and-coming coaches, one on the Cavs, one on the Wizards, both brothers, both black coaches, up-and-coming, sons of NBA players, NBA coaches. You know what I'm saying? Both got bald heads, you know what I mean? Similar beard structures and all that. But that's where it stops. That's where the comparisons and the similarities stop. you saw a team that their coach got their team ready to play. Yes, they have much better personnel on the floor, much better players on the floor, stuff like that. But they played like a team that was playing a team they were supposed to beat. And they came out with the right attitude, the right focus on defense, the right focus on offense. Both coaches are up and coming, trying to make their mark in the league. But if Coach Unseld does not get the team to play with better effort, better focus on both ends of the floor, his coaching career could be over very fast. Again, I'm not blaming Coach Unseld for all of the loss and how, it's the players that play, it's the front office who puts the team together. But at the end of the day, as the coach of the team, that effort that I saw tonight was extremely unacceptable. It's extremely unacceptable, and you got to put that on the coach. You've got to put that on the coach, man. To come into this game losing 2 games in a row when you're up 20 and then to come in and play the way they played tonight, Coach Unseld better be careful. That's all I got to say about Coach Unseld tonight. He better be careful. Disgusted with what I saw tonight. So anyway, since we lost tonight's game, this is going to be, there comes a point sometimes in certain games where you can stop taking notes. You can really stop taking notes because the game is what it is. I stopped taking notes by the end of the second quarter, y'all. Well, I took a couple notes after the third quarter just to add emphasis on the things that I didn't like tonight. But overall, I stopped taking notes at the end of the second quarter. It was a wrap already, you know what I'm saying? So with all that said, I'm going to talk about the things that I like in a very, very minimal, very, very short list of things that I like tonight. And I really barely liked them, if I liked them at all. I just got to find positives. Overall, I'm a half glass type of person. Half glass, half full type of person. You know what I'm saying? That's who I am by nature. You know what I mean? So, there's a lot of people that wouldn't have found anything good, and I couldn't even be mad at them because what I'm even about to mention is, people look at me like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be like, yeah, that's all. You know what I'm saying? So, number one, man, I like the fact that, they had no choice, but they were making an attempt to get KP involved early. You know what I'm saying? I like Porzingis. He had 15 points and 6 rebounds at the end of the first half. He ended the game with 18 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, a minus 21 on the floor tonight, y'all. Minus 21 on the floor tonight, y'all. Again, I'm not going to blame him. But what this showed me, which I already knew, I already knew this, but this just emphasized what I already knew, was that Porzingis is a great third option. He's a great third option. You know what I'm saying? You could play through him if you have a very good backcourt player like Bradley Beal and a facilitator's point forward type player like Kyle Kuzma. Or if you had an elite point guard or something like that, Porzingis could be a great, you know what I'm saying? But he is not a number one option, you know what I'm saying? And tonight, he did his best, but without some elite talent on the perimeter, he can only give you so much, you know what I'm saying? He's not as dominant as like a Shaq or even an Embiid or anything like that, you know what I mean? He doesn't have the versatility in his game like Jokic, you know what I'm saying? And he's just not that strong in the post to be able to just hold a team down and be the focal point of the number one option. I won't say focal point because I still think he could be the focal point, but he can't be the number one option. You know what I'm saying? You can play through him, get the ball inside out, as long as you got a Bradley Beal, as long as you got a Kyle Kuzma, or players that are even better on the perimeter. You know what I'm saying? So tonight just emphasized the fact that as much as they try to get him involved, as much effort that he tried to play, he was the leading scorer. You know what I mean? Him alone, it's going to be hard for him to put up 30 points with just him as the lead player, the best player on the floor for his team. You know what I'm saying? So, but I did like the fact that the Wizards knew that that's what they had to do to even have a remote chance of being competitive tonight by giving the ball to Porzingis, and I felt that they did that or tried to do that for the majority of the game while he was in the game. You know what I mean? I thought Denny also, knowing that we were lacking offense, tried to be aggressive tonight, so I got to give him credit for that. But that's the only credit that I could give him. He was only 3 for 10 from the floor. Still can't hit the 3, 1 for 4. Now he drew fouls, got to the line, 5 for 5 from the line. You know what I'm saying? But 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, a minus 23 on the floor tonight. That's the type of game that a Denny puts up when he's coming off the bench. You know what I mean? He was starting tonight, and again, not enough, not good enough. His offense is not good enough. His handle's not good enough. He turned the ball over, trying to get, and I won't blame him totally, but he needs to be more secure with the ball. But it's like nobody was trying to come to the ball. He had the ball out, his hand out, and Donovan Mitchell just knocked that jump out of his hand for some easy fast break points. You know what I'm saying? So again, didn't he try to be aggressive? But he's just not offensively talented enough in this league to be able to dominate a game. You know what I'm saying? But I did like the fact that he tried to take onus and try to put the team on his back somewhat, but he's just not good enough. He's good to me. I still like him, but he's not without an elite. That's what makes Bradley Beal. We might, quabble about how much he got paid or whatever, but that's one thing that is very evident is when Bradley Beal's on the floor, whether he's effective or not, him on the floor makes the rest of his team better because they got to pay attention to him. When he's not on the floor, Kyle Kuzma, he has enough versatility in his game to be effective with the rebounding, passing, and scoring. You know what I'm saying? So if you even had Kyle Kuzma in this game, Porzingis would be more effective. Denny would be more effective. But without having one of those two players, they turn to real. Well, I think Porzingis is a little bit above average, but Denny, Corey Kispert, everybody else on the Wizards roster turns extremely average. You know what I mean? So definitely want to give Denny some props for his effort, but he's just not good enough. Bottom line. I thought Gafford was trying to be a presence in the paint tonight. He had 3 blocks, ended the game with 11 points and 8 rebounds to go along with those blocks. But again, he's not offensively talented enough either to put the game in his hand, especially in the paint. He's undersized as a center. He's athletic, but he's undersized, and he doesn't have enough post moves. He doesn't have a jumper. He can't hit the 3. He can't even hit the mid-range. So he's extremely limited, and without, again, an elite player in the backcourt, or at least a facilitator on the level of Kyle Kuzma on the floor, the rest of the team is extremely average and extremely limited. You know what I mean? So, that's all I like. And then Barton off the bench. Now, Barton, he ain't scared to put up a shot. He hasn't played in a while, and he looked like a player that has not played in a while in regards to being like, yo, man, I'm going to get my shots tonight. You know what I mean? Y'all don't play me no way. You know what I'm saying? And he was the only effective perimeter player to score, score points, create off the dribble and stuff like that. He got game. He can do that, but his shot selection is just suspect. You know what I mean? He had no assists. Like, that's a Will Barton type game. You know what I'm saying? He had no assists. You know what I mean? He entered the game. What did he shoot? 6 for 12, 50% from the floor, 1 for 4 from 3, 2 for 4 from the free throw line, 15 points. You know what I'm saying? So, again, man, that's, he was doing his thing. That's what he does. You know what I mean? Come off the bench, and he's the scoring point. So he did what he was brought to the team to do. But again, just not enough, man. And that's it, man. That's all I liked about. And again, it's not even that I liked. Those were the positives that I tried to find in tonight's game. You know what I'm saying? That's all I had. Now let's go to the dislikes. Now that list was very easy to put together. Off jump, man, I just thought we let the Cavs score way too easily. Not enough defensive intensity. Again, I'm blaming Coach Unseld for the lack of focus that this team displayed tonight. You know what I'm saying? The lack of effort, especially after coming off those losses. The defense was just extremely terrible. That's all I can say about that. Donovan Mitchell went crazy. He started the game 3 for 3 to start the game, 11 points in the first half. You know what I'm saying? He ended the game with 21 points, a plus 25 on the floor, 21.6 rebounds, 5 assists. 1 steal. We did force 3 turnovers, you know what I'm saying? But those were non-factors. Definitely didn't like that. We could not contain them at all. The Cavs played with much more sharpness on offense. They pushed the pace. They moved the ball very well. The Cavs dominated us in the paint tonight. Mobley and Allen just looked way too much. Again, for Porzingis, not athletic. And then he had to go up against Mobley and Allen, more athletic front court. You know what I'm saying? Mobley ended up with 16 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, only 1 turnover, plus 23 on the floor. Jared Allen, 23 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers, but plus 24 on the floor. You know what I mean? A combined 39 and 13 rebounds, and 5 assists, and 4 blocks, and 2 steals from the center position for the Cavaliers. You know what I'm saying? So we already knew that our front court, even with all our players, was kind of weak, and that's part of the reason why Coach Unseld decided to start Porzingis and Gafford full time to even have a chance to try to compete with a front court like the Cleveland Cavaliers. You know what I'm saying? But the Cavs got Donovan Mitchell and Garland in their backcourt and Okoro as their 3. Yo, they have a solid starting 5 and a good bench. You know what I'm saying? When you got Ricky Rubio, your backup point guard, and then even have the nerve to have Neto as your 4th point guard, it just shows the depth at the guard position in comparison to us. Because, you know, Donovan Mitchell, he could play the 1. He could play the 1. They don't need him to play the 1. They're deep enough at the point guard position. But if worse come to worse, Spider Mitchell could play the 1. You know what I'm saying? Garland could play the 1. He plays the 1, but he could play the 2. They could interchange. You know what I'm saying? So they could have Rubio run the 1 and Garland or Mitchell could run the 2. Like, they got so many combinations. And then to have a front court like Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. I just read like the other day that they have benched Kevin Love. He's out of the rotation. I mean, that's a deep team. You know what I mean? So just to see them do what they did to us in the paint tonight was just, you know, very devastating. I was not happy about it at all. You know what I mean? Speaking of Garland, I just felt like he could do whatever he wanted tonight. I mean, he did everything. Got to the hole, hit 3s, assisted the ball. He ended the game with 23 points, 5 assists, 3 steals, 2 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? Just doing whatever. 9 for 15 from the floor, 5 for 9 from 3, and had the nerve to miss both of his free throw attempts. Had the nerve to do that. He would have had 25 if he made his 2 free throws attempts that he attempted. You know what I mean? So, again, we were overmatched, so I already knew we were going to lose the game. So I'm not mad about that as much as I am with the effort that we played with. You know what I mean? It was just disgusting. It was terrible. And then Okoro, again, that's their 3. That's their 5th option. That could be their 4th or 5th option. He ended up having a good game tonight for them as well. You know what I'm saying? He ended the game with 12 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 4 for 6 from the floor, 2 for 3 from 3, 2 for 3 from the free throw line, a plus 23. You know what I'm saying? Very disappointing. You know what I'm saying? They were just too much for us tonight. You know what I mean? Mobley was doing way too much as well. He had 8 points, 4 for 5 from the field in the first quarter alone. You know what I mean? I already said he ended with 16. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't really have to do much. His presence alone was out there, but he was a plus. Hold on. He was a plus 23 on the floor tonight. You know what I'm saying? Definitely didn't like that. I thought that we turned the ball over way too much tonight, especially in the first quarter. Again, set the tone. We had 5 turnovers in the first quarter alone. You know what I'm saying? I think we really had 6 turnovers. You know what I'm saying? 5 or 6, one way or the other, is way too many. We were playing sloppy, not focused. Again, you got to put that on coaching. You got to call timeouts. Once you see the turnovers, 2 bad turnovers that occur too fast, you call a timeout and you start screaming on the players, yo. You start telling them to get their head in the game. But I don't think Coach Unseld did that. You know what I'm saying? So too many turnovers to start the game, and it continued for the rest of the evening. We ended the game with 14 turnovers, so it didn't look as bad as it felt. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, the Cavs ended the game with more turnovers, if you could believe that, with 16. You know what I'm saying? But again, the way we started the game, 5-6 turnovers in the first quarter alone, let the Cavs go up double digits. The game was over before it started. You know what I mean? So definitely didn't like that. The Cavs took a double-digit lead in the first quarter. They scored 37 points in the first quarter. We were down 20 by the second quarter. Our three-point shooting was atrocious tonight. We ended 6 for 28 from the three-point line, 21.4%, extremely unacceptable. Extremely unacceptable. The Cavs were 12 for 29, 41% from the three-point line tonight. You know what I mean? So extremely unacceptable. Three-point shooting was unacceptable. Three-point defense was unacceptable. Again, goes back to coaching. Goes back to coaching. It's not X and O's type coaching. It's getting in your players, you know what? You know what I'm saying? Getting in them and letting them know, like, yo, what's going on out here? I will bench you. None of this occurred. No emotion. Not enough emotion from the coach, man, for my liking. You know what I mean? Then, I don't even want to come for Bill too much, but I saw him again laughing, smiling on the bench. I saw Bradley Beal smiling on the bench. We down 20, though. There's no smiling when you're down 20. I don't care. There's nothing funny. Even if your teammate tells a joke, you as the leader, a Kobe Bryant wouldn't be smiling on the bench. Kobe Bryant wouldn't be smiling on the bench. They down 20. It just shows you the difference in demeanor when it comes to star players. Our star player, the player that the organization wants to sell fans, is going to be the savior and going to be the reason we're contenders in the East, can't even stay healthy. Can't even stay healthy. But when the laugh will be smiling and laughing on the bench, though. Kispert, man. He misses way too many wide open threes, man. That's one of the reasons you get drafted. We didn't draft you for defense because you can't play defense. You know what I mean? You're a smart player. I will give you that. You don't make bad decisions. But we drafted you because you're supposed to be a three-point shooter. Now, he hits threes when there's no pressure. But when we need a three, you can count on him to miss. You know what I'm saying? He ended the game shooting 0 for 5 from the three-point line, 1 for 7, 2 points. And 26 were double figures by the end of the third quarter. By the end of the third quarter, the Cavs had 6 players in double figures. You know what I mean? They ended the game with 6 players in double figures as well. You know what I'm saying? But by the end of the third, it was already there. You know what I mean? So definitely didn't like that. And for the vast majority of the game, the Cavs shot over 60% from the field. See, those last 2 stats that I mentioned were stats that occurred after halftime, but I had to say them because it added emphasis to this embarrassing loss. You know what I mean? 6 players in double figures by the end of the third quarter. By the vast majority of the game, this team was shooting 60% from the floor. They ended the game shooting 56.4%. You know what I mean? By letting the bench in and letting players that never get any playing time to play and close the game out. You know what I'm saying? But for the vast majority of the game, they were over 60% from the field. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, that's it. That's all I have for y'all, man. You know what I mean? Game was over by the end of the first half. There's nothing much more for me to say. Very disappointed. Coach Unseld better watch it, man. He better watch it because these last 3 games, after coming off a 6-game winning streak, that's what makes this even more terrible, more disappointing, more unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? They won six in a row and they felt like they made it or something. Like they won the championship or something. You know what I'm saying? Very disappointed, yo. So yeah, man, that's all I got, yo. Yo, if you enjoyed the content, well, try to enjoy I hope you enjoyed the content. Really not what occurred, but how I describe what occurred. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't enjoy this game at all tonight. But if you enjoy the content, man, I would really appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. at the Wizards Review on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter as well, at Wizards Review. You can follow me, King Ade DMV, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on the Xbox Series X and S on NBA 2K23. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, that's all I got for y'all tonight, man. I got to get up off here because I'm not happy, quite upset. You know what I mean? But let's not let this get our nights down. Let's try to enjoy the evening. And then next game, hopefully this team can wake up. We get some of our key pieces back, and they get a win for us because they have been very, very, very terrible. And this has been extremely unacceptable. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, enjoy your evening. Until next time, take care. Peace.